Good morning, Year 5, and today's English lesson. Today we are following on from yesterday's practice boxing up. Today's lesson is your real boxing up ready and your plan ready for your warm night on Thursday and Friday. Okay, so you are going to be boxing up the story of Beowulf and Grendel, but obviously we're not writing a story, we're doing a book review, aren't we? So it's using exactly the same grid as we used yesterday for your George's Marvellous Medicine, but we're thinking about Beowulf and Grendel this time. All right, so this is what the grid will look like that you will fill in. I will go through a model of which you can use some ideas, but obviously all of you have read this story now, and so hopefully you can fill it in with lots of your own ideas. Hopefully probably find it easier than George's Marvellous Medicine. Okay, so starting with the introduction, then you've got a synopsis, then your characters. On your grid that you fill in, you will have the George's Marvellous Medicine that you can use as a guide. Then you will be filling in the Beowulf and Grendel column. Okay, same part as usual, the language, then your own review, and then some language to Magpie. Okay, for when you actually write your book review, what language was there in the Beowulf story which you could actually Magpie? All right. This is the model that you are going to be following for today's lesson. Okay, so you will be filling in the boxing up grid for Beowulf. All right, you're writing it on Thursday and Friday, so this is just a plan. So here is my example. Once again, just like in George's Marvellous Medicine, parts of this you can copy. All right, you obviously copy the author and the illustrator. You can define the genre yourself. Here I've put defeating a monster story stroke action. If you want to define it in a different way, you can do. Then I've come up with a rhetorical question. Do you like action-packed stories full of adventure? Want to be on the edge of your seat, waiting in anticipation to find out what happens next? Two rhetorical questions there. I would like you to come up with two of your own. Okay. If you can also come up with a warning, that's also a really nice element to put in. This book is not appropriate for ages under 8 due to the gory, scary content. Okay. This serves two purposes, really. Obviously, it is a bit of a warning that you shouldn't read it under 8, but it also is a bit of an excitement element, because lots of people think, oh, if it's gory and scary, that would be great to read. I want to read it. Okay, so that's quite a clever element for the beginning part of your book review. Okay, going on to the synopsis. So remember, what is the story about, but without giving any spoilers. So literally we've got 3 bullet points here. You've got King Hrothgar builds a mead hall for his town to celebrate in. Grendel is waiting outside and terrorises the town by murdering people. And Beowulf hears about the monster and comes to the town. Can you think of 3 general bullet points to sum up what happens in the Beowulf story? Which additional conjunctions do you think you can use when writing the synopsis? Okay, I've put I can include all 3. If you just think you can only include 1, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to include more than 1. Can you come up with some extended noun phrases? I've got cruel, vile creature, happy, pleasant town, and strong, cocky hero. Okay, so 1 describing Grendel, 1 describing Beowulf, and 1 describing the town. If you want to follow that structure and do 1 for each, you can do. If you want to come up with 2 or 3 for Grendel and 1 for Beowulf, that's fine, as long as you have got some expanded noun phrases in there. Remember, the rhetorical question in this section is not about the whole book. It's a question linked to something specific within the book. These rhetorical questions would just generally, do you like an action story? Do you like an adventure story? Do you want to be excited by this book? Whereas this is very specific. Will Beowulf be enough to save this town from its peril? Okay, so think about a specific thing. Could well be linked to Beowulf saving the town, Beowulf rescuing everybody. Okay, and then a quote. All right, it could be, now this is a quote from somebody who has read the book. This is the best book I've read all year, perfect for children 9 and above who love action-packed stories. And we've said that that's from the Blue Peter Book Club. All right, you can make it up. It could be a quote from you yourself, all right, or somebody else that could possibly have been interviewed. Now, you will need to fill in these 2 boxes yourself on your own grid. Remember, I don't want you copying all of this. I would like you to be coming up with your own rhetorical questions, your own 3 bullet points, choose which additional conjunction, come up with your own expanded noun phrases, rhetorical question and quote. Okay? Second part, obviously you can copy the characters. If you want to add more because you want to focus on more, that's absolutely fine. But obviously these are the 3 main characters. Language. Now I've put full and thought-provoking, high-level descriptive language that paints a clear picture for the reader. You can describe the language that you think's used in whichever way you want to. Okay? Is the language challenging? Does it give you enough detail that actually you can fully imagine what this town is like, what the Mead Hall is like, what Grendel as a monster looks like without seeing a picture? Hence why I've written about the descriptive language. Okay, then again choose an additional conjunction that you think you can fit in to this language paragraph that you will be writing. Then your review. Again, this is completely up to you. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? It doesn't matter which way you go as long as you can justify it. So if you did enjoy it, what elements did you enjoy about it and why would you recommend it? If you didn't enjoy it, again, why? What was it that went wrong with this text for you? Why did it not appeal to you as a reader? And how, would you recommend it to other people who are interested in certain types of things, and that's why they would prefer reading it? I've just summed it up in 4 bullet points here. It's an action-packed story that kept me on the edge of my seat. Cried with the villagers because of their grief, so I had empathy. Might be inappropriate for younger children due to the scary content, but this is what made it fun and exciting for me as a reader. It's a brave tale of a warrior, perfect for young readers that like action, particularly boys who are sometimes reluctant to read. That's how I summed it up. I would like you to think of 4 of your own bullet points to either recommend this story or to say why you would not recommend it, what did not work for you. But remember, don't just say, oh, it was rubbish, I didn't like it. That does not explain why you would not recommend it. Okay, so 4 bullet points. Remember, this is a plan. You are not writing in full sentences. You are not writing in a paragraph now. You are just writing bullet points. Okay, you are then going to use this plan on Thursday and Friday to write your full book review. Okay, so I just want 4 simple bullet points as to whether you enjoyed the story or not. Can you write down some conjunctions that you can also include in this? Okay, and the final thing is any language you want to magpie. So are you going to get some quotes from the actual book? Can you remember some things that were said in the book that you would like to include because you think are very important to include in your book review? Okay, because it's a whole summary of the Beowulf story. Okay, now you will need to go onto your own version of the grid and you will need to complete those 6 boxes. Okay, filling in, as I've said, some of them will be similar, but most of them you will be using your own language and have some different bullet points to mine. Use this video to help you as a guide rather than to magpie all of it, please. Okay, Right, good luck with that, Year 5. Thank you.